Bashar.
And good day to you.
Oh, what an honor it is to be in front of you, and God bless to you and all the beautiful people watching. How lucky we are.
It is our passion and our pleasure as well.
Now, one question I have: what about anxiety and the emotions of nervousness? Is
Same
that
idea.
similar to fear?
Same idea. They're just different levels of the idea of the vibration of fear. They're your energy flowing through negative belief systems, being colored by negative belief systems, and the idea of anxiety, nervousness are just smaller degrees of the idea and the expression that is under the overall umbrella we are referring to as fear.
And what about anger and rage?
At first, there can be what might be referred to as natural anger, which is simply a sensation of alignment, kind of an adrenaline rush of alignment, of knowing the difference between what you do and don't prefer when you're presented with something that doesn't vibrate with compatibility to you. But if that rush of alignment, that rush of what you might initially call natural anger, lasts more than about 15 seconds and goes into the idea of judgment and it then amplifies into the ideas of rage, now you are allowing yourself to simply match the frequency of the negative belief systems within you about yourself in relation to that circumstance and situation. Because once you allow yourself to align, there really is no positive reason to continue to experience that idea you call anger or rage.
And what about depression? And I'm going over all the emotions because
All right.
these are common.
Depression is simply, again, a negative definition imposed upon a natural compression. In other words, it is natural for you, when you cannot necessarily find the answers outside of you, to go within, to withdraw, because you know that's where all the answers lie, is within your consciousness. So the idea of going within and experiencing a kind of energetic compression until you process and find the answers you seek and then come out as a different person, renewed, is a natural thing that all of you do. But if you have labeled it or defined it in a negative way, that there's something wrong with you relative to society, then you will experience it in the negative context of depression, which only sends you on a downward spiral instead of allowing you to use this inner sequestering for the positive purpose of redefining yourself and finding the answers you need to allow you to be more of the person you prefer to be.
Terrific, wonderful. And can our parallel lives, our parallel realities, can it create fear-based beliefs in this reality?
By tapping into other experiences in parallel realities, it may have the capacity, if you're already operating from a fear-based belief, of amplifying it if you're tapping into something similar in a parallel reality. But the idea then is that you're amplifying it for the positive reason of making it so obvious that you then have something to deal with. Do you
So,
understand?
so just so I understand, so if I focus, obviously, this may sound like common sense, but if I focus on the fear and I just let the fear take over me, then I'll obviously lose to the fear where I should just focus on the power instead of
You
worrying
can
about the
do it
fear.
that way. You can do it that way, but we were answering your question in the idea that, yes, sometimes a technique that people can use is to tap into other parallel versions that are also perhaps experiencing the fear in order to double, triple, quadruple, and amplify the fear within you so that it brings it to your attention more readily.
So we do that through meditation, correct?
You can do it however you wish. It can be just an exercise in your imagination. You can do it through meditation. You can allow synchronicity to present it to you. There are any number of pathways by which this can be achieved.
Terrific. As I travel down this rabbit hole of spirituality that I'm currently on, and I constantly see this universal law of karma. What is karma this important? Can we mess up this life and have to live many other lives?
No, you don't have to. No, you don't have to. The idea, again, is that you may choose to experience the idea of a reincarnation, although, again, that's just an illusion. Since everything exists all at the same time, reincarnation, in a sense, can be created as an experience, but it's not mechanically what's actually happening, that you are having another life. The idea is that you're connecting to other beings that simultaneously coexist with you, and you are downloading information that you believe may help you in this life, as they may be doing with you. But you don't actually, literally, physically, mechanically have another life. The idea, therefore, is to understand that karma really is simply the recognition that you are, as you deem it, out of balance with who you prefer to be. And in recognizing that you are out of balance with who you prefer to be, and in doing something about bringing yourself back into balance, you have right then and there recognized and erased your karma.
So just
Now,
to
people who don't do that may spend their lives out of balance, may choose the idea of creating the illusion of a reincarnation to, quote unquote, do things over in the way that they would prefer. But it's not a given. Once you are in spirit, you can choose many different kinds of pathways. Remember that from that perspective, you are much more open, have a much broader understanding of the choices that are available to you, and you can determine for yourself whether you wish to create the kind of focus that is experienced as reincarnation, or whether you wish to rebalance yourself in a completely different way. It's up to you.
And so just to piggyback on that, terrific point, Bashar, just to piggyback onto that point,
Yes.
do we have a soul's purpose in the now? Do each and every one of us have a specific soul's purpose that we should need to meet, certain obligations that we really need to meet in this lifetime, this now?
In a sense, but we wouldn't really use the terminologies that you're using. The idea is that your fundamental purpose, all of you, your fundamental purpose is to be yourself as fully as you can. You may be exploring certain themes with this life idea of who you are as a personality, and those things may function as a sort of purpose or mission. But the idea is that following your passion will allow you to express your purpose in the unique way that fits your theme of exploration as this person in this life. But your fundamental purpose, your fundamental mission is the same for everyone, to be yourself as fully as you can. And that's why it's easier to do that when you're acting on your passion and following the formula that we've shared with all of you.
Which is a terrific formula, and it's been life-changing for me.
Yes, yes.
I could go into it for days and days.
Yes.
But I have one more question.
Yes.
I actually know the answer to this, but it was the funniest thing I ever seen you do, Bashar. You spoke about the higher mind on the mountaintop.
Yes.
And it perceiving the physical mind. Can you give me the, could you give me the, how does the higher mind perceive the physical mind? Does the higher mind mock us from above?
It does no mocking whatsoever. Mocking is a human idea.
Sure.
So the idea is that it guides, it supports, it informs, it communicates through energy, which you experience physically as the sensation of passion. But the idea is that, yes, same idea, attraction, curiosity, love, excitement, passion, different variations of the overall idea of the natural vibration of you, your true self. And in that sense, it has a broader picture of things. It can, in some sense, find a kind of compassionate humor in some of the things that the physical mind may choose to do that might take it out of alignment with itself, but only to the degree, in the same way that you might find some mild amusement when you see a child attempting to understand things you know that it needs practice in understanding. But it is not mocking in any way, shape, or form.
Terrific. Bashar, I love you.
Our unconditional love to you as well.
And to all you beautiful people, how lucky we are to have this gentleman.
Thank you and good day.
Hi Bashar, this is Ankit from Seattle. My question for you is how to deal with enviness and jealousy. Say something I'm very excited about. I visualize and I open the doors and start acting on my passion, take actions as much as I can. But for some reason, I'm not able to manifest it, and I see someone else manifest it so easily. How should I react to it? And I do feel jealous sometimes to it. So how can I use it in positive and to my advantage? Thank you, Bashar. Goodbye.
You have too much insistence on what you think needs to manifest, and you're not using what manifests to your advantage, thinking that just because what manifests is not what you wanted, that something has gone wrong, and then projecting that idea onto others and becoming jealous and envious because you think they are doing something different, but they're not. All they're doing that's different in any way, shape, or form is accepting what is. So you have to accept what is manifesting as there being a reason for that manifestation, and use what manifests, even if you don't prefer it, in the best possible positive way you can, to learn that you are always manifesting. You never stop manifesting. And if you simply remain in a positive state, you will see that whatever shows up can actually be used to your advantage if you will change your particular perspective on the idea of needing things to manifest and insisting on things manifesting in exactly the way your physical mind thinks they ought to. Yes.
What if, there's this concept of being an empath?
Yes.
How does that play into it? Because I feel like I'm an empath.
It's the same mechanism. It's the same mechanism that we described. You cannot be empathic unless you're using your energy to match the frequency of someone else's emotional outpouring. You have to match that frequency in order to recreate a simulation of their emotion and share it in a sense. So it's the same mechanism.
But then there's books about how to stop yourself from picking up people's emotions.
Yes. All that means is you don't match the frequency. That's the entire content of those books in a nutshell. Don't match that frequency.
And if it's all my energy, what if I don't ever want to feel other people's feelings? I mean,
but remember,
upside downside?
In a sense, because remember, the idea is you have to look at the reason why you may be saying that. Because if you're saying that for a reason that is connected to fear, you're actually gravitating toward that experience. So the idea is to understand that you can allow yourself to choose to prefer certain frequencies that would automatically make it that you would not experience other people's frequencies and energies that are vibrationally incompatible with what you prefer. It's simple physics. But the idea is to be afraid to experience things when they come up like that is actually the opposite effect, because the fear puts you in that experience you don't prefer. So the idea is to know that whatever it is that does happen, figure out a way to use it positively for yourself, and that means you will take yourself to a positive frequency that will make it less likely that if you experience it at all, you won't experience it for long, and you'll have learned how to control your frequency by having had an experience of a frequency you don't prefer, so that it gives you an opportunity to shift to a frequency more easily that you do prefer by contrast. You have to stay in a positive state. Remember the formula that we've shared with all of you. The fourth point in the formula is no matter what happens, even if something happens you don't prefer, you have to stay in a positive state to get a benefit out of it. Because if it does happen, there's a reason for it happening. Nothing happens by accident. So even if you experience something in a moment you don't prefer, allow yourself to use what you don't prefer in a way you do. If nothing else, being shown something you don't prefer, having an experience you don't prefer, can, by contrast, give you more clarity on what you do prefer instead. And that's a positive way to use what you don't prefer. And once you use it up, it'll go away because it has served its purpose. You've gotten the lesson, you've gotten the point, and not rejected it as being invalid or not belonging in your life. So you can't approach this from fear, or you just create more of that. You have to approach it from a positive energy so that you can use it up and send it on its way.
So is a good permission slip if you're feeling like whatever, I think you could call it someone's bad vibes or whatever. You would say, okay, I'm feeling someone's bad vibes. How can I make this positive for myself? Is that
Well,
a
the
good
idea
permission
is
slip?
to understand there must be a reason why you have allowed yourself to experience that. So, yes, how can I use this information and how can I use this experience to illuminate myself in a positive way? Is it something that allows me to help them because I am understanding what they're going through and I can offer them an alternative? Is that one reason that I'm experiencing this from them? You only have to experience it then for the brief amount of time that you recognize you're experiencing it. And if it's for the purpose of sharing ideas with them that could allow them to change their vibration, that may be the only reason why you experienced it at all. So you have to figure out with your imagination, what is a positive way that I can use this idea, this experience of what I'm feeling right now. I already gave you the example of, by contrast, you know more clearly what you do prefer. But there may be other things that you could do with it, like helping them change their vibration.
Is it sometimes a past life thing as well?
No, no, no. Again, past lives are an illusion. There's no such thing. You make a connection from the present to other people that exist at the same time you do, that from your space-time perspective you think exist in the past. And on that connection, that energy linkage that you make, that bridge that you build between you, you are downloading information and experience. And you could say from that context, all right, well, I'm getting this information from another life, someone's life that I think of as being in the past, but it's not you. It's another person. You only experience it as having been you because from your space-time perspective, that present linkage feels like a memory. That's the way you interpret those things because you believe that there's such a thing as the past and the future. But everything exists simultaneously now because the present is all there is. So even though you may be being informed by someone else's life that you think of as a past life, it's still up to you to understand that that experience is being created in the present. It doesn't actually come from the past. Therefore, you get to use it however you wish because it's fully in your present as an experience.
Okay.
Do you understand?
I think so because I had an experience.
Yes.
I ran into someone that I was at one of your sessions actually in Oakland.
Yes.
And there was someone in the bathroom, and I felt like she totally hated me, and I didn't really know who she was other than we were at the same event.
All right. But again, if that was an accurate perception, it could be for a variety of reasons that you're picking up on the idea of her vibration. So it wouldn't even necessarily be anything personal. It might just be that you represent something that she hates about herself.
So I don't always have to necessarily look at what's going on with me. It could be also going on with the other person, and I'm just picking it up.
Yes.
Okay. But is it worth also looking at any type of negative beliefs I have?
Yes, of course, always. Always make sure you're clear. And then if you know you're clear, that's your first clue that it's probably the other person's issue and you're just sensitive to it.
Okay, that's good to know because that was really confusing.
Always take the responsibility of making sure you are clear. After that, it's everyone else's issue, not yours.
Okay, my God, that's so okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That will do.
Thank you.
Child abuse is an epidemic these days, and maybe it always has been throughout the history of our world, and it's all coming out now. Does that mean children have limiting beliefs and that's why they're abused? I mean, many of the children that are abused. Or is there a different reason? Was it a choice by the soul to incarnate, to have particular experiences? Because how can a child who is still natural, still in touch with nature, have such negative belief systems? I've always found that a bit puzzling. So thank you very much.
Well, first of all, there cannot be one general answer for this because it depends upon the particular person and soul and the theme they are exploring. So there can be many reasons for those kinds of experiences. One reason can be that a soul might actually choose to have that experience because it might add to the overall collective experience of abuse and help it reach a point where your society will finally agree that such a thing should never happen again. So a soul might add to the pile of experiences, knowing that by doing so, you might reach a tipping point sooner that would allow your society to change and not have those experiences from that point forward. Other children might simply pick upon the belief systems of their parents and thus harbor limiting beliefs that come from their parents, because they may need to use those limiting beliefs to push against in order to transform negative experiences in their lives into more positive ones by having chosen things to push against to propel them in a more positive direction. So again, you have to kind of take it on a case-by-case, person-by-person, child-by-child basis as to why they might be experiencing certain things, either of their choosing or from the belief systems that might be ensconced in their unconscious mind that they may have picked up from parents or society or schooling or friends, that demonstrate that these things exist in your society to give you an opportunity to see them more clearly and to decide what to do about changing those experiences on your planet in the future.